Hey guys, so today we are looking at the Mongols' invasion of India, which is something new that we haven't fully covered yet. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this because we haven't covered. Hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to remember times where we thought of like the Mongols proper. I guess the Mughals, but the Mughals were the descendant or like a group, right, from Timur. I could be wrong about that. Forgive me, but it'll be good to see the main Mongols in India and what exactly happened there because we did not cover this in how to defend against the Mongol series. So definitely new uncharted territory, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. And if you want to watch the original video from Kings and Generals without me, being here in the corner and yapping, the link to the video is down in the description down below. And if you want to help support my channel in any way, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot. With that said, and now without any further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Let's watch the Mongol invasion of India. The Battle of Kili. Alright.
After the civil wars of the mid-13th century, the Mongol Empire was split into four independent khanates, with the least known being the Chagatai Khanate. Hemmed in by the Golden Horde, Ilkhanate and Yuan, the only direction the Chagatais could expand, not at the expense of their fellow Mongols, was south, towards the Indian subcontinent, at that time ruled by the Delhi Sultanate. In this video, we will look at the Mongol invasions of India. The Delhi Sultanate arose from the ruins of the Ghurid Empire, which had stretched from Afghanistan to Bengal. Upon the death of Muhammad of Ghor in 1206, his Ghulams broke apart his empire, and the Ghurid Indian territory was consolidated under the long reign of Shams-ud-Din Iltutmish, based in Delhi. Over the next 3 centuries, the Sultanate was ruled by 5 separate Turco-Afghan dynasties, whose foreign policy on their northern borders came to be defined by the Mongol Empire. Relations between the Delhi Sultanate and Mongols began in the 1220s, when Chinggis Khan himself rode to their borders, chasing the Khwarezmian prince Jalal al-Din Mingburnu, son of the late Khwarezm Shah Muhammad II. There is disagreement over why the Great Khan chose to halt at the borders of India, but it seems that Chinggis simply may not have had an interest in expanding into a new, unknown territory while already dealing with Iran, Central Asia, and China. Chinggis returned to the east and died while on campaign against the Tanguts in 1227. Under the steady hand of Iltutmish, the Delhi Sultanate came to be the most powerful state in northern India. Over the following decades, the Mongol presence on Delhi's borders increased, with raids into the Punjab and Sindh beginning in the late 1230s and 40s. The Delhi Sultans sought to appease the Mongols through diplomacy and gifts. In 1241, a Mongol force under Bahadur Tahir took Lahore, and Multan was captured in 1245. By the 1250s, Punjab was largely under Mongol control. Sultan Mahmud Shah.
Dang, they are encroaching so quickly on their territory. Just that little takeover right there is quite a lot. So yeah, obviously the Mongols, their diplomacy is that you have to be under their banner. So there's really no diplomacy in a sense. So definitely the Delhi Sultanate needs to actually fight in order to continue its existence. Um, that's interesting. I'm wondering how strong the Delhi Sultanate is, and if they can actually even take on the Mongols.
Was overshadowed by his vizier and eventual successor, Balban, who changed Delhi policy on the Mongols. Under Balban, the Sultanate became much more aggressive, retaking Multan and Lahore by force. Balban worked to fortify.
Oh wow. Alright, good on you, Balban. Like, before, they were being very diplomatic, now it's like, the hostilities are increasing, though. Like I said, I'm not sure how strong the armies of India and the Delhi are at the moment against the Mongols, you know?
By India's mountainous border through building forts garrisoned by Afghans. Further, Balban welcomed Mongol, Persian and Central Asian refugees fleeing the Mongol civil wars in the 1260s, and gave many of them military positions, which provided the Delhi Sultans with knowledge of Mongolian military tactics.
Smart, learning from your enemy. Alright, that's smart on him.
Beginning in the 1260s, the source of the Mongol incursions into India changed. With the outbreak of war between the Ilkhanate and Golden Horde, the Ilkhan Hulagu had attacked the Jochid forces who had been a part of his army. Many fled to southern Afghanistan under their general Negadir, becoming a local power the Ilkhan and Chagatai princes sought to control. From then on, the Negadiris undertook nearly annual raids into Punjab. Balban consolidated Delhi's hold on much of northern India, expanded southwards, and gained valuable experience with Mongol tactics, preventing the Sultanate from being overwhelmed. However, in 1285, he received a great shock when his favourite son and heir, the governor of Lahore, Multan and Debilpur, Muhammad Shah, was killed in a vicious Mongol attack on Multan.
Oh, that sucks.
Balban spent the rest of his life in shock and died in 1287, succeeded by an inept grandson named Kaikubad.
Oh, that sucks. That's sad, dude.
To the north, a major shift was happening in the Mongol territory. A grandson of Ogadai Khan, Kaidu, became a major power broker and sworn enemy of Kublai Khan. In 1282, in an effort to stabilize the Khanate and assert his power, Kaidu appointed a descendant of Chagatai, Duwa, as Khan, and together split the rule of Central Asia between them. Duwa and his favourite son Kutluk Khwaja consolidated their power, and in the late 1290s were able to assert control over the fearsome Negadiris, with Kutluk Khwaja taking command of them. In 1290, Kaikubad was murdered and the throne was seized by the founder of the famed Delhi Khalji dynasty, Jalal al-Din Khalji. Around 70 years old when he became Sultan, Jalal al-Din rose through the military, becoming a lead general for Balban and regent for his grandson Kaikubad before seizing power. Militarily, he was quite capable, defeating a Mongol army at Bahram in 1292. Jalal al-Din Khalji.
Alright, this is an interesting new character. Again, he did mention about the Chagatai, needing to, kind of, again, they're sandwiched in between all these other powers, so going, south to India, definitely their only option, but, Al-Din seems capable. I mean, 70 years old, no doubt a lot of experience in fighting and whatnot. But he is old, though. Like, that kind of worries me whenever an old person shows up, because, I don't know, that's a lot of stress, right, and to do as an old person, but, I guess we'll see. He is capable at the very least, but, we'll see what the Chagatai can do, because they did conquer the other group here, so this is going to be a really interesting conflict.
His reign was notable for his benevolence and generosity, in addition to his military ability, but this kindness made him appear weak to his ambitious nephew, Ala al-Din. In 1296, Ala al-Din Khalji killed his uncle and usurped power.
Never mind, forget everything I said about him. Never mind. Freaking India. I'm kind of happy we've been covering a lot more of India as of late, because there is so much happening that I'm really looking forward to learning more about Indian history. It has so many, like any other place, power struggles, divisions, court intrigues, so Yeah, I have been enjoying our adventures into India and seeing what the heck's going on here, you know?
Ala al-Din Khalji was cunning and ruthless and had an exceptional military ability. His reign began with a large Negaderi incursion, attacking Multan, Sindh and Lahore. Ala al-Din's commanders, Ulugh Khan and Zafar Khan, were mobilized with a larger army than the Mongols, and at Jaran Manjur defeated them.
Wow. Alright, they're actually putting a great
Ala
fight.
al-Din Khalji initiated a number of reforms to strengthen his control and prepare against Mongol invasions. His army and officers were paid in cash, and the Sultan had personal control over the army rather than leaving it in the hands of his emirs. Economic reforms were undertaken as well, with high taxes up to 50% of each crop, and efforts were made to prevent hoarding to keep prices low, making it cheaper to feed his men. His position was strengthened by a strong spy network and his loyal eunuch and possible lover, Malik Kafar, who secured him from court intrigues.
Oh, wow.
While
Alright, that's very interesting. I guess it's good since, again, he just called Aldin's, military mind exceptional, which is a pretty high praise that kings and generals doesn't always just throw around high praise to anybody. You know, unless they really are that good. So that tells me Aldin definitely is capable. And obviously him having full control of the army is probably gonna be a good thing, and Alright, he seems very capable, but the Chagatais also seem capable, so it definitely seems like this might end up gearing towards being a really great, encounter. Though I'm not sure if the Chagatais are ever gonna fully commit. Sure, they've had armies for sure, but I'm wondering if they're gonna lock in and just go for all of it, you know? And how that's gonna end up going. But Aldin seems capable, so I was worried for a second after he killed the previous Aldin that he was just an ambitious guy who doesn't know what he's doing, but alright, he does.
conflict continued on and off with other Mongol Khanates, and Kaidu's energies were focused on harassing Kublai's northern territories, the attention of the Chagatai Mongols turned to India in the closing years of the 13th century. India was famously wealthy and largely untouched by the Mongols, and was the only direction the Chagatai Khanate could expand that would not conflict with other Mongol Khanates. While generally the Mongol attacks on India are considered raids intended for plunder, the most serious invasions which threatened the Delhi Sultanate occurred in Duwa's reign. In 1298, another Mongol force was sent into India. Ala al-Din Khalji's army under Ulugh Khan was campaigning in Gujarat when the Mongols attacked. The commander left in Delhi, Zafar Khan, was able to raise a large army and defeat the Mongols, once more driving them back across the border. Zafar Khan.
Okay, so they have the Delhis so far in terms of like record in this video have done the most damage towards the chat you know, the Mongols. So far beating back any of their raids and armies, so yeah, they were doing amazing in actually stopping these guys.
Became very popular after this victory, which may have given the always suspicious Sultan Ala al-Din concern over his loyalty. In 1299, on the orders of Duwa Khan, his sons Kutluk Khwaja and Temur Buka marched with 50 to 60,000 Negaderi and Chagatai horsemen over the border. The numbers of the Mongols prove that this was an invasion with conquest as its purpose.
Okay, now they're locking in.
Sources describe Kutluk Khwaja as bypassing villages to maximize speed, intending to strike directly at the city of Delhi itself while the Sultanate's army was once again in Gujarat. At the river Jimna, Zafar Khan confronted Kutluk but was defeated and forced to retreat to Delhi. News of the defeat of Zafar Khan caused thousands to abandon their homes in fear, and the capital was soon flooded with refugees. Famine, overcrowding and fear now gripped Delhi. All the while, Kutluk Khwaja was closing in. Ala al-Din held a council with his generals in the city, where he was advised to abandon the capital. The Mongols were too numerous, too powerful, and too close for them to stand a chance.
Dang, this is a really bad situation. Safa's defeat there, now everyone's panicking. Yeah, so the Mongols have finally committed fully to conquest now, and now we're seeing a definitely more dangerous side other than the previous just, I guess, raiding attacks. So... I will say, though, I'm looking at the composition of both armies. Obviously, the Mongols are all horseback. You kind of expect that from them. But, I'll say, so far, when looking at the Indian armies, the Delhi armies, they also are mainly horseback, but I do notice they have my favorite animal with them, the war elephant. And, I mean, in the past, war elephants have, scared horses. So, I mean, I guess it depends if the Mongol horses are already kind of used to it, or just that. I don't know. But, if I do remember, elephants at the past in several battles we watch have scared horses, so I'm wondering if perhaps the war elephant might come into play, into a victory. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Ala al-Din trusted his sword, however, and raised what forces he could. He marched out 15 miles north of Delhi and met Kutluk Khwaja at Kili. Sources describe Ala al-Din as having an army of 300,000 with 2,700 war elephants, but modern historians give a more...
That's insane. That's insane.
...more feasible number at around 70,000 with 700 elephants.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Still outnumbering the 50 to 60,000 Mongols. Both forces deployed in the standard formation for steppe armies, a center and 2 wings. The Sultan took the Delhi center, while Zafar Khan commanded the right wing and Ulugh Khan the left, with elephants dispersed among the 3 groups. Like the Mongols, the Delhi forces relied on horse archers, light and heavy cavalry, with much of their army experienced in the same style of warfare as the Mongols.
Alright, so in terms of tactics and fighting style, they seem very similar. I'm just saying, the one thing that the Delhis have that the Mongols don't, other than numerical superiority, is the elephant. So, I don't know, I'm keeping my eye on the elephant, dude. I'm wondering if it's gonna come into play, or if they're gonna be a burden, so... you never know with elephants, it's kind of a flip of a coin. They're either gonna be great, or they're gonna be a hindrance.
Zafar Khan, looking to avenge his defeat on the Jumna, led the first charge, attacking the Mongol left flank, which broke before him. Zafar gave chase to drive them from the field, but as he was led further away from the rest of the army, he soon found that he had fallen for...
Oh no. Oh, he's gonna be hit from the flanks.
...a feigned retreat. Zafar was encircled, the Noyan Tarakai leading the ambush.
Ooh, oh no. Oh dude, he's completely encircled. Oh my gosh. Wow, the Mongols. Big IQ play right there.
Zafar realized that he had been left to die. The Sultan made no effort to rescue the clearly doomed force.
Oh yeah, that's why he mentioned al-Din was suspicious of his victories. Oh dude, he's betraying his own guy in middle of the battle, in the midst of this invade. Oh dude. Wow, that's so dark.
His mistrust of his subordinates' growing popularity being too great. Abandoned and surrounded, Zafar gave his best until he was captured. Kutluk Khwaja was impressed by Zafar's courage and offered to let him join the Mongols, where surely his bravery would be appreciated, even offering to make him Sultan of Delhi. Zafar Khan was to the end loyal to his sultan and refused, and Kutluk Khwaja ordered.
That's the worst part. He was actually loyal, apparently. So Al-Din just let a loyal and competent follower of his die because of his own paranoia. Because I think if Safa was actually as ambitious as Al-Din feared, he might have taken the offer to live right then and there. So Al-Din just... Dang. That's... Wow.
Did the execution of him and all of his men and elephants. With this victory, it seemed that Kutluk Khwaja was now poised to defeat Ala al-Din and conquer the Sultanate. At this point, however, the Mongol forces retreated. It seems that at some point over the course of the battle, perhaps in a final struggle during the execution of Zafar Khan's troops, that Kutluk Khwaja was seriously injured. Before he could make it back home, Kutluk died of his injuries.
Oh, dang.
The Mongols had lost their prince and another invasion with little to show for it.
Dude, talk about great luck. Al-Din literally only lost one of his flanks, and he apparently wanted to lose them, so I guess that's a win for him. And they killed a Mongol prince, so... Wow. That caught me off guard. I was like, poor Safa.
This defeat did not end the Mongol invasions of India though, as Noyan Tarakai attacked in 1303 while Ala ad-Din was returning from campaigning in Chittor, where his forces suffered heavy losses. Isolated and besieged near Delhi, fighting continued for 2 months. The approaching summer heat and stalemate tested Tarakai's patience, and he too retreated, perhaps unaware how close he came to overcoming Ala al-Din. From 1304 until 1308, invasions were annual, but now the aura of Mongol invincibility in India was broken. Mongol armies were defeated in battle, their commanders trampled to death by elephants in Delhi, and pillars were constructed of Mongol skulls outside the city. The question remains.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Mongols I find really interesting. Under Genghis Khan in their earlier reigns, they basically had an unstoppable aura. They could beat anybody. But something happened, like starting with Kublai's generation and their fracturing, I find really interesting, is that they lost the ability to conquer stuff easily. Like, they failed with Japan, they failed with Indonesia, they failed with Vietnam, and now they're failing in India. So, like, something happened to where the Mongols, all these failures definitely ended their aura, their original aura that they had, you know? Still formidable, I'm not taking that away from them, it's just, they definitely aren't what they used to be, you know what I mean?
Why were the Mongols so ineffective in India? Delhi familiarity with Mongol tactics was a major factor, both from combat experience, similar army models, and the presence of Mongol defectors. India's hot summers were hard on the Mongols and their horses, impacting pasturage and limiting when the Mongols attacked. Finally, Ala al-Din and his generals were skilled commanders and a match for the Mongol captains. After Kaidu's death in 1303, Duwa helped organize a general peace between the Mongol Khanates, even suggesting they put aside their differences and launch a joint attack on India. However, the death of Duwa in 1306 led to conflict within the Chagatai Khanate. In 1328 to 1329, Duwa's son, Tamashirin, undertook the final major Mongol offensive into India, with similar results.
Wow.
Tamashirin was briefly the Chagatai Khan from 1331 to 1334, but his death and the collapse of the Ilkhanate in the following years put Central Asia into chaos, and the ensuing political vacuum provided opportunities for minor warlords and claimants, such as a certain Balas tribesman named
Timur. Oh, freaking Timur. Every time he shows up, I feel dread. Oh, man.
Our series on the Mongol Empire will continue.
Well, guys, that was the invasion of India, another Mongol failure thing. This has been a journey this month. We went from the Mongols at the beginning basically being unstoppable, untouchable, and as of late, we've just been seeing them fail. It's kind of amazing to watch their aura of invincibility be shattered as I'm watching it in live time, you know? Um, I really enjoyed it though. I'm very happy to be seeing this, and we're gonna be continuing more with the Mongols tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then. Bye everyone.